Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Science Project. Today, I'm going to go over how to do the Isopod Behavior Analysis Lab, or the Roly Poly Lab. It's one of the favorites of a high school biology classroom. Basically, in this lab, I'm trying to teach students the scientific method, how to write a good hypothesis, and how to set up a good experiment. It's pretty self-explanatory as you roll through here on this stuff. I try to have the students do a 3 to 5 minute presentation at the end of this. It tells you kind of how to set everything up. Goes with group members. I try to have them in groups of 2 or 3. In this lab, they're also going to test whether roly-poly is like a wet or a dry environment. And then they design their own experiment, and they can use some of these things here to design that or come up with whatever they like. They normally come up with some pretty fun stuff. Um, I asked them to do background research and put what they found here, walk through how to write a hypothesis with them, and then have them write their sources of research down here and describe their experimental setup. Now, speaking of experiments, that's what I'm going to go do today. I'll show you all how to do the wet versus dry procedure, and what we've come up with for that. And then after that, maybe go through how to do the reports a little bit. So what you'll need is a decision chamber, and you can use just about anything for a decision chamber. What I like to use is just pencil box, just like this, okay? And I'm going to make that pencil box into a decision chamber with 3 parts to it. I've already gone ahead and put in one of the dividers in here. I'll show you how to put the other divider in, what it's made out of. The dividers are just pieces of cardboard like this. They're just wide enough for the pencil box with little doorways cut out. So I'll just take this piece and put it in here like this. And so what I'm doing is dividing this up into 3 sections. And the reason it's 3 is so that I can have 2 experimental sides and a control group in the middle. You can do this with just 2 pieces. It's often done with petri dishes. I like to do it with 3. Plus, we have a bunch of extra pencil boxes laying down around here. So we're going to do it like this. All right, so there's my setup. Now, for the wet versus dry, all you need to do is take a piece of paper towel on each side. One side should be wet and one side should be dry. So I'm just going to tear pieces of paper towel into the correct size and then fit them in here. So this will be my wet side here. I'll get that wet in just a moment. And then I'll also have my dry side here. So this side's going to be dry. So the students should be coming up with and saying, okay, for the control group, it's here in the middle, it's just regular plastic. And what we're adding in is paper towel, and then once you need paper towel that is wet. You don't necessarily have to do that control group in the middle. You could just use a wet and dry side. I like to do the control group in the middle though. So I just like to get that a little bit wet, like that, but not so wet that there's a puddle. Just a nice damp paper towel. Okay, so now that it's set up like that, I went ahead and separated out. I have a compost here at school. I make the students go find their own roly-polies though, so I separated out 10 roly-polies into each of these cups. It's having a hard time focusing. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and pour those into each side. We're going to see what happens. So there's 10 roly-polies there. There's 10 roly-polies there. This little guy up. Put him back there, and you can see they're already crawling all over the place. Looks like we've got some crawling in the middle too. There we go. So we have some in the middle, and they're crawling everywhere. And now the traditional version of this lab would be to record how many roly-polies there are in each chamber every minute. We're actually going to let this run overnight. And the reason I like this pencil box is because I can go ahead and just shut it like this. And I'm going to put it away out of direct sunlight into a place that the roly-polies won't be stressed. And that way they'll have plenty of time to figure out which side they like the best. And in the morning, I'll open it up. Okay, so went ahead and let this set for about 24 hours overnight. And so the students now would open up this pencil box and count how many roly polies are on each side. So let's go ahead and do that. And immediately what you're going to notice is that I actually went ahead and taped down this piece of paper because the roly polies were going under it. And that's not what we're trying to test. We're just trying to test dry side versus wet side. And if we notice too, it's kind of crazy. Um, Most of our roly polies are kind of in the middle and they're still moving all about. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roly polies that are in the middle. So we would go ahead and write that down here under control at, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roly polies that are on the wet side right now. And we've got 1, 2 should add up to 8, 3, 4. Uh-oh, looks like we may have lost a couple of roly polies. There's 4 over there on the dry side. So maybe we lost a couple. 4 on the dry side. Let's just count again on these others. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7 on the wet. And there's 1 hiding under here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. So actually 7 on the wet there. And there's 8 on the control, and there's going to be 1 unaccounted for. So in total, we found 19 of them. And this might be reflective of actual student data where they don't find all of the roly-polies, and that's okay because some of the roly-polies may have escaped, or they're possibly in places where the experiment was not meant to run, so the data is really not valid. So at this point, we'd go ahead and have them calculate the percentages of the roly-polies. And this is great for just adding that little math scaffolding here that a lot of students need at this age. So 7 out of 19 is going to be 37%. And the formulas are here just for their benefit. 4 of them is going to be 21%, and 8 of them is going to be 42%. Okay. So then I would go ahead and have them, and of course they should be writing down their observations here. So this would be that qualitative stuff here, like where the roly polies are they grouped together, that sort of thing. So I'd say grouped in middle, still moving quite a bit. And then they can do a lot more observations than this. That's all I'll do for now. And then over here, we're going to go ahead and have them graph out our data. And so I've put the lines in here for 1 graph, but really they should probably make 2 graphs. I'm just going to do this. And what we would have here is condition, and then number of roly polies. And this is where students would call that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and there's wet, dry, control. So there were 7 in the wet. We want to make sure at this point too that they are using a bar graph, okay? Because this is just basic numbers. For dry, it's just 4, and for control, it's 8. So maybe there's no clear trend here. And then what we want to have them do also, and I'm realizing that after I drew this, is we want to have them do a pie chart for the percentages, because we always tell the students when you have a percent of something, you put it in a pie chart. So we'll go ahead and draw a pie chart, put that little dot in the middle. And this can be kind of difficult to freehand. we'll get the idea here. So we'll say that's about 50%, so that'd be about 42% there. And then probably about 21%, and that's 37% there. And then we can do fun little um, designs in here, and we'll make a key as well. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and make a key here where we'll say that the stripes are uh, control, the circles are dry, and the cross hatching is wet. Okay. So that's what I'm basically looking for from the students for presenting their data on this sheet. After this, I would have them go ahead and do their own experiments. And then at the very end here, you go ahead and find the presentation outline that I have them do. Everything from title, abstract, intro to methods, results, discussion, conclusion, and reference. Goes on, gives some more information here. Tells them how to lay that out if they're going to do it in a poster or a PowerPoint presentation. And then finally at the end is the rubric that I like to use. And of course you can edit any of this that you like. So I hope this helped today. I hope you enjoyed this lab. And if you have any comments, please put them down in the comments or let me know. Send me an email. Please follow my store or follow my YouTube channel. Thanks a bunch. Bye.